So we are here at the World of Footbrake Challenge 17 presented by BTE, and I've got an incredible guest here with me in the media room, Mr. Bobby Joe Pennington. You've got a lot of names. You've done a lot in your day, but you're the father of the man in charge here this weekend. And I know on your aspect side of things, this is a long time coming for you to see what Jed has progressed into, but we'll get there in a little bit. Kind of tell me about where the racing bug bit your family, because Jed always talks about the bug biting him through you, but what made you decide that I'm going to try that drag racing thing?
Well, I guess probably started with my older brothers. I had a couple of them that loved, cars in general, and we just got into drag racing. And I guess the first time we ever went, well, actually we started racing on the street. And there was a lot of that in our community.
Statute of limitations is over at this point, yeah.
We had a little place we called the Stretch on Coburg Road, which is where this all came out of. It's just Coburg Racing Promotions. And we would go up there and drag, at night and on the weekend, and you'd have about a crowd like you'd have at the drag races, on the side of the road. And that's where it all started. And, of course, Jared started when he was probably 13, so he's been doing it a few years himself now. He's
getting up there.
He'll be 52 here in just another few days, 11th of next month.
As he would say, he's had a few birthdays.
Yeah, he has.
So,
and I raced for 53 years myself.
53 years.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
And I just got too old that I thought I couldn't keep up with these young whippersnappers, and I got to thinking about that too. I said the last car I had was the Malibu that Jared has now. Or it's actually Jenny Mo's car, his wife. And Luke, my grandson, is racing it today. And that's the last car I had. In the last 3 races I ran, I think I was probably 71 years old at the time. And I won 2 of them and run it up in the other one. So I said, I guess I wasn't doing too bad.
You just go out on top, huh? Yeah. How young are you now?
82.
82 years old.
83 in a couple of months.
So it was a little over a decade ago the last time you got in the Malibu. And obviously, in 12 years, the racing scene's changed tremendously.
Oh, my goodness.
To be here at Bristol and have Frank and Jared and all of the family here at one spot, and you always come 4th of July the last couple few years. That to you got to look around and think about how blessed of a man you are.
Oh man, this is something to think that this all came out of Coburg, Alabama, which is a little reason it's Coburg is it was a coal mining town, and in fact, I still live on the property that I was born and raised on. And, of course, Jared does, too. He lives right across the driveway in front of me. But
I've heard Jared talk about the compound, and I've never been there, but in my head I picture it as you go over some railroad tracks maybe, and then like a dead-end street with everybody's mailbox saying Pennington. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, you about right.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we have 5 of us family homes on the property that we're still on. Like I said, my dad bought the property there probably in the mid-30s. And then I bought the old home place from him in the real early 70s. And, of course, we still have quite a few acres there. We had 80 acres originally, and I think it's down to about 7 now, maybe.
Yeah, Jared would always, I'm not sure if you ever listen to the podcast. He does, obviously.
Yeah.
He's very well involved. You've raised the guy we all look up to in the sport of sportsman drag racing. That's the guy. That's your son. And I don't know if you know that or not, but he tells that on the podcast where he'd come home and go down the road and Mama's light would always be on till he got home.
Oh, man.
And she'd call and
Exactly.
and he'd call her and say, Mama, I won. Mama, I lost. I'm home. Good night.
Well, he'd wake me up at 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning and throw several $100 bills on the bed and say, hey, I won tonight. And he'd say, there's the money. Do what you want to with it. Of course, I was fair about it. But he's always been that way. Jared is a person that, he's been blessed, and he likes to share it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that, obviously that shows here, on Friday's Gamblers Race. We added $21,000 into it from the original Gamblers Race. You know, it's just crazy to think that your son and Steve put together the largest drag race ever, largest foot brake race in the history of foot brake racing.
Right. And you know, this was actually originally Steve's idea.
Yep.
Jared and
an Applebee's.
Said, man, I don't know.
And an Applebee's at 2:00 in the morning somewhere in Mississippi.
I don't know if that'll work or not, but we'll try it if you want to.
It looks like it's all right.
I believe it's working.
Yeah. What do you remember about the year 2003?
2003.
Jared's car number turned into 1X. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
As a father, what is that moment?
Oh, my goodness. Well, everything just about that we've been involved with, and, you know, and of course that is just amazing. It's just hard for me to believe that my little humble little old boy,
yeah,
you know, turned out to do this and be this. You know?
Yeah, he absolutely has, and for you to be here with all of them and seeing Luke driving Frank's car,
oh, yeah.
JJ driving under Jed's banner in a blue car for some reason, but
and I didn't get to come for several years. You know, just I raced here the first two Footbrake challenges.
See, I didn't know that.
Raced myself.
I would have been
I had a 62 Studebaker
Lark.
Yeah.
That's on my list. I want to talk about that too.
Pretty good car. It was here it ran 620s. You know,
that's pretty good up here on the mountain, especially 15 years ago. That was pretty good.
I'd have to run 520s now to keep up.
Yeah. But your son was the B&M champion in 2003, and that's something that nobody can take away. And
you know, the car that's there right now, that car that Luke is driving today,
yep,
was on TV.
Yep.
On several commercials.
Yep.
You know,
that's got to feel pretty good when you turn the tube on in the house, wasn't it?
Exactly.
You know, you see JJ out here competing, and I know you've seen it a couple times at home where he goes out there and he messes up, right? And and Jed climbs in him.
Oh my!
Was that given to him honestly?
You probably. Yeah. Well, I don't know if I was quite as tough on Jed as he is on JJ sometimes. But
was he as hard headed as JJ is every now and then?
Probably so.
Yeah. For Kohlberg Racing Promotion, the little town you talked about, you know, this is what it has become. You know, that came out of your family, and that's something that I don't know. Does the whole town to Fultondale or Kohlberg all know what Jared Pennington has done, or because I feel like Kohlberg's pretty small.
Most people, well, Kohlberg is real small, yeah, but people in Fultondale and Gardendale, you know, all around, people come to Jared for a lot of stuff.
He's just a Caterpillar salesman.
We have a little local track there, Laster Mountain. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually been down. Kind of the guy that had it decided he didn't want to open it back up this year. But I think they finally found somebody to run it this year. But, people came to Jared, several people, wanting him to run that track. To like buy it and own it, you know, property and everything this year. And I don't think he felt like he was needed to do that. It wouldn't have been something he would have been successful at, maybe because of as many times as the track has been shut down and not done well.
I don't know if it was a success or the stress it would add to him, because I think Jared could start powerlifting and end up successful.
You're probably right.
You know,
you're probably right about that.
We've all heard the stories about the car falling off the trailer on the way to the racetrack.
Yeah.
You running over the track dog and the burnout under the tower at Atlanta.
That was in Fulton, Mississippi. I run over the track dog. And I thought I had ran over the guy doing the
water box guy.
Water guy, And I didn't see him, but I felt it when I run over him. And I jumped out of my car. And Mike Franks, I don't know if you know Mike or not.
Related to Wayne? I know Wayne Franks.
He owns Fulton, Mississippi track.
Yeah, I don't know
Mike
him.
Does. And he was hollering on the PA system, "He's okay, Bob. He's okay. Go ahead." And I said, "Man, this guy telling me I just run over
a man.
And he wants me to pull up there and go ahead and race." And he's okay. And I found out it was the dog. Well, I won a little money that day, and I don't remember what it was I won, but when it was over, I just went and told Mike. I said, yeah, whatever I won today, put it on the hospital bill for the dog.
Yeah.
Because they had to take him straight to the vet, you know.
Jared's not too shy to share stories, but is there a good story that you love telling about Jared? Because there's some that he likes to tell, but there's some about him that he won't tell.
Yeah. Well, he can tell you some stories, and he can make them funnier than they actually was. But I can tell you a couple of little things that my race car was broke one year for a few weeks. This has been 25 years ago probably. And we was at Lassiter Mountain. Jared was announcing that night. And I said, you know what? I'm going to run my little street car. I had a little 3-cylinder Sprint. And I said, I'm just going to race it tonight. So they called me, you know, my first time down, pulled it in at Lassiter Mountain. You know, you drive through the water just like you do here, whatever. But I went on past, I dodged the water, went up there and turned around and pulled my front wheels in. Now, we talking about a little 3-cylinder Sprint. I'm just playing, you know.
Right.
I pulled my front wheels in the water. I back out. I do me a burnout. I turn around and go to the line. And Jared said I wasn't about to tell people that was my dad driving that car.
Oh, that'd be a sight to see. Oh, man. So, obviously, I know you're a proud father, right? You are a proud father, a proud grandfather.
I got another son, which I'm sure you met, Frank.
Yep.
He's here, you know, Luke's dad, and
well, they feed Luke.
He's he's tall, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's and he's not a whole lot different than Jared. They're both just that kind of people, you know.
Yeah. Well, I want you to know you've raised great human beings. You've done a great job, but one thing that you want Jared to know, what is it?
Well, I think I've always tried to instill in him. In fact, he mentioned it maybe today or yesterday, to always do the right thing, you know, to help people, share what you have and your success with other people. And he knows that, and he talks about it. That's the reason he said he's been blessed, and he wants other people to be blessed when he can help them be.
Absolutely. And everything that I am involved with Jared, you know, whether I'm working with him or for him, you see that through and through. And you've done a hell of a job. And
he'll get upset every now.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh no, well, that's the human nature, right? But Bobby Joe, you've done a hell of a job. Jared, we love you. He's going to see us on that camera right there eventually. Cade's going to put this together for us. But this man right here, I know loves you. We love you, and all 713 of them love you. I promise you that.
Well, I'm not very good at interviewing, but I appreciate this.
Well, Jared got the gift of gab from you. It was honest.
Well,
you like talking. Just open up a little bit.
I've had a few people to tell me that. I've had a few people. I mean, in this business, you know, they said I can talk to them a little bit, and sometimes they'll tell me, "Well, I see where Jared gets his being a people person from." You know, so.
Yep, he sure does. But Bobby Joe, it's great to have you here, and it's great to see you hang out in the media center next to the announcer's booth all day, and see you light up whenever Luke and JJ run and their win light comes on. That's what we're here for, and that's what drag racing's all about.
Yes, sir.
Bobby Joe, thank you, sir. It started raining again, so we'll show Jed this video maybe a little later. Cheer him up.
All right, man. I appreciate you.